Hello everyone, my name is Incoherence and welcome to the beginnings of a brand new series on the channel. Roughly a month ago, I believe, we did a vote to see what series we would begin, and Mount and Blade plus mods did not win that vote. In fact, I think it came in at a close second. It was the runner-up. In fact, it was a three-way tie, nearly, but that is neither here nor there. I just figured it seems to be that Mount and Blade there's a lot of interest in this game on the channel. In fact, I want to play it as well, so I figured I would start a new series using the Warsword Conquest mod. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the mod, it is a complete overhaul that brings the world of Warhammer Fantasy into Mount and Blade Warband. So you can create a character of any of the races, man, woman, cat, dog. No, you can play as man and woman, actually. Elf, dwarf, orc, goblin, lizard man, rat man, beast man, chaos man, dark elf woman, if you so desire. You can play as any of these things, run rampant across the old world as well as the new, and destroy, kill, maim as you so desire. I've already created a character, as you saw from the intro. Unfortunately, he is a Bretonnian peasant, which means he's not going to be killing, maiming, pillaging, raping, any of these things. In fact, he is actually going to be doing the opposite. He is going to be protecting the poor folk of Bretonnia. But I figure, you know what? Let's not dawdle any further. Let's hop in and meet our titular hero of the series, Jean Valleur. Some of you may recognize where we are already, but I figure for those of us out there who are not so familiar with the Warhammer world, or in fact, the map in Warsword Conquest, I figured that we would just take a quick cursory glance at the lands beyond the borders of Bretonnia. In fact, we'll look at Bretonnia itself as well, just for a little bit of context. So, as I said, our hero, here he is, right outside Khorne. There he is, Jean Valleur. He is a Bretonnian peasant, and he is essentially, he's taken up arms to defend his homeland, which is Alençon. Right now, he has been marching for a few days to recruit villagers and the like. I should mention now that I've actually played an hour or two just to remove some of the tedium out of the start of the game. So just FYI, I've kind of kick-started the series. But regardless, Jean Valleur is currently on a quest to create a band of peasant, I was going to say brigands, but the opposite of brigands. Guardians, if you will. But we can just leave him for a moment and take a look at Greater Bretonnia. Now, Bretonnia is essentially feudal France. All of these blue territories, towns, castles, etc. are owned by Bretonnia, and by extension our king and feudal lord, Liancourt. Now, to the north are the realms of chaos, or rather the Chaos Wastelands, which are inhabited by the faction known as the Realm of Chaos. Currently, I don't believe Bretonnia is at war with these guys, but by God, these are not nice people. I tell you what, the more I learn of the Realm of Chaos, the more I don't like them. They're jerks. Bordering the Realm of Chaos is Kislev. Kislev is essentially like a medieval Russia. Kislev is allied to the Empire of Sigmar, which is essentially a Holy Roman Empire type situation. The county of Sylvania is actually a province in rebellion. Long, long ago, the vampire lords of Sylvania rose in defiance of the Empire of Sigmar, if I recall correctly. So it is currently inhabited by zombies, skeletons, and immortal vampires lusting after human flesh. So it's not a nice place to be. In short, don't go there. It is a death trap. Unless, of course, that's your jam. Just to the east of the Empire of Sigmar, we have the dwarves in the mountains. In fact, they kind of wrap around the Empire in all of these mountain forts, etc. Directly opposing the dwarves are the greenskins, the orcs, and the goblins in the Badlands. I believe the goblins are in fact the light green. Just south of the Badlands, we have the Tomb Kings, which is a undead Egypt sort of situation. Then we have the pirates, the pirate kingdoms to the north, and this is essentially, it's just pirates. That's it, pirates. The pirates are wedged between two halves of the Skaven underworld, which are, of course, rat men, and then to the west of them we have the beastmen. So the beastmen and the Skaven are actually kind of important for us as Bretonnia because we are currently at war with the both of them. And for them to actually enter Bretonnia, they have to first cross these rivers, pass through this mountain pass, etc. So we're quite defensible, but they could very well overwhelm us and swarm us. Bretonnia shares a border with the Wood Elves in this forest, which I can't quite recall what it's called, but it's Wood Elves. It's a very it's a stereotypical elfin faction, let's just say that. But we are currently, if not friendly, we are actually allies. If we can take a look at this. Okay, no, we are not allies with anyone, but we're only at war with the two. But anyway, returning to our quest around the world, just to the west of the Tomb Kings is the Sultanate of Araby, which is Arabia. Who'da thunk it? South of them we have the Lizardmen Kingdoms, which is essentially the New World, the Americas, and the Lizardmen are taking the role of the Mayan and Aztec. We have the High Elves on the island of Ulthuan. Again, a very stereotypical elfin faction. Bows, knowledge, magic, the like. We then have the Nippon colonies and the Dark Elves. So the Nippon colonies is basically feudal Japan, and then the Dark Elves are an evil version of the High Elves. And then again, we return to Bretonnia. So hopefully we can get a good grasp of what's going on. We can enter the Dark Elf lands by these straits. We can, of course, enter the Chaos Wastes through these straits here as well. We can march into the Empire, into the Woodland, the Wood Elves Glade. I can't recall what this forest is called. And then we can march against the Beastmen and the Skaven as well. Now, returning back to our wonderful, wonderful hero, Jean Valleur. Let's take a look at him. He's but a lowly peasant, a red-headed peasant as well. This, if you would believe it or not, is a randomly generated face. I did not alter this in any way. I did have to give him a big fat beard, however, because he has quite the embarrassing chin. His jawline just is not fantastic. It's I'd rather just cover that right the hell up. And look at this. I've already lost my chosen beard. Oh boy. It's a tough one. We'll go with this for now. I believe that was the one, actually. Currently, we're level 3 because I've slain some bandits and the like. He is very charismatic. The way I explain this in my headcanon is that he's very inspirational. He's able to get and draw energy from those around him. That makes him sound like a vampire, but what I mean to say is that he's able to inspire those around him to accomplish more than they would otherwise be capable of, so that is reflected in his charisma skill. He is not necessarily the greatest swordsman, not necessarily the greatest rider, although he is actually quite a good rider, which we'll talk about in a moment, but he is able to lead, and that is his primary attribute. However, we have 2 points to allocate, and I'm going to dump them both into intelligence, because I want him to at least be somewhat intelligent, of average intelligence, if you will. We're going to put some points into things like leadership. Definitely, we're going to need a lot of peasants. Inventory management, just for the looting factor. We're going to need prisoner management, probably. And let's just go athletics, because we are not always going to be mounted. Now, as for the weapon skills, there's no use. These are just dump stats at the moment. So, Jean Valleur's background, let's talk about that very briefly. His father was a horse breeder. Now, most Bretonians are familiar with horses. Horses are very core They are a central component of Bretonnian culture, but Jean Valleur and his father have a much more intimate knowledge of horses. In fact, they used to bed them. No, they would breed horses. So Jean, from a young age, grew up around horses, and this led into him becoming an outrider as a young man, meaning that he would ride in scout parties. He would deliver messages. If he came across an enemy war party and they were weak enough, he would charge into battle himself. If they were too strong, he would retreat. Again, showing that intelligence that we've just bestowed upon him. So he is very comfortable in the saddle. Unfortunately, as I've mentioned before, he is a lowborn, so that doesn't necessarily mean that he wields any appreciable power. In fact, he's basically expected to farm and not much else. Unfortunately for Jean Valleur, his hometown of Alençon has come under not a siege, but it's come under the influence of evildoers. That is to say that there's quite a few groups of chaos cultists just north of the town. So he's left his the comforts of his home to gather a group of peasants to push them back, because in my headcanon, his feudal lord, I believe it's Duke Aloy, he is far too slow to take action against these cultists, and I imagine that Jean Valleur has lost a friend or two, if not two. Oh, for example, we have 8 Chaos Zealots right here. I imagine Jean Valleur has lost friends, if not to the cults. He's lost them in sacrificial rituals that the cultists have done in raids they've conducted in the night. And I suppose we should take a look at our inventory very briefly before we get caught up in the battle. So Jean Valleur is mounted on a courser. He has no armor to speak of, a sword and a hunting bow. He does, however, to have 2 saddle horses to carry his goods, which are grain, cabbages, and cheap fruit, just to feed the men. We have 200 gold to begin with, and this is more than enough, I think, to begin our quest. So, of course, the horses kind of reflect our past, equestrian past. Now, I think it's definitely time that Jean Valleur marches to combat. So we're going to be slaying Chaos Zealots, rather, for the first couple of minutes here, first couple episodes. I don't know. I think what I'm going to do is destroy all the Chaos Zealots and sort of do like a montage, perhaps. Anyway, this guy says, "Lucky for you, you caught me in a good mood." I don't believe so. I'm not in a good mood at all. Oh shit, I've completely forgotten that a lot of my peasants were in fact unconscious. There was a lot of drinking the night before. Perhaps my men got a little rowdy. In fact, what has happened is, as I was playing ahead of the game here, I got them knocked out. Oh man. Okay, so Jean Valleur is quite adept at horse riding, but unfortunately he's pretty garbage at horseback archery. So we can skirmish a little bit, if I can actually hit anything, but he's going to be quite ineffective at causing damage. In fact, it's better for us to go in with the sword. And there we go. Now, I like to play from the first-person perspective. I don't know what your preferences are. I could possibly just kind of switch it up, in fact. The first-person perspective is just hella immersive. Unfortunately, I'm just playing horribly. We're currently armed with a short sword, which is really... Ooh, God, Jean. Our horse is not doing so hot. The short sword is a little difficult to use from horseback, but here we go. We're going to go in for the kill again. And boom, we just slit one dude's throat. And we're going for another. I feel as if we're going to lose our horse, though. Let's park it back near our peasant buddies. Already, this is not turning out so great. All right, boys, form up. So look at that. We hit him in the fucking ankle. Here we go. Whoop. There's one more down. As I said, Jean Valleur is not the greatest swordsman, but I hope that he will grow into a combat role. He is, of course. Oh, this guy's fucking running away. Boom. That's it. I think we've swept up here without a single casualty, if I'm not mistaken. Although our horse, our unnamed, at this point, horse, is not doing so hot. I kind of want to name the horse, to be honest. Sort of like a Bucephalus situation. Bucephalus being Alexander the Great's horse, if I recall correctly. Okay, so we've defeated 8 Chaos Zealots. Sounds like there's another battle nearby. We have 10 peasants currently unconscious. Gee golly. Oh, here we go. 14 Chaos Zealots messing with this Bretonnian patrol. Let's get involved. Rush to the aid of the Chaos Zealots. I don't think so. That sort of runs antithetical to what Jean Valleur is all about. See, here's what Jean dreams of becoming, a knight of the realm. It's a far-flung dream, that's for sure. Not one easily accomplished, but I hope to one day call him Jean Valleur, the Peasant Knight. I kind of imagine that Jean will be leading peasant crusades into, like, the Tomb King territory, into the Sultanate of Araby, these sorts of things. Possibly into the New World to raid the Lizard Men. That seems like it would be the ultimate goal for Jean. For the time being, though, we're going to mop up all of the Chaos Zealots around our hometown of Alençon. We're going to build a small peasant army. And then I suppose we can contact our feudal lords, see if we can help them get involved in the realm proper. Look at that, we've just helped a questing knight. A quest for respect. That's what Jean is on right now. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. I don't know the words, actually. Okay, well, I know there's another group of zealots. There they are, 11 of them. Oh god, there are so many zealots. There are actually a lot more than I recall. But this is great. It fits. Thematically, it fits. Now, I don't know if you guys can tell this already, but I'm pretty hardcore into the old RP. To such a degree that sometimes I just play the game in a more difficult way to ensure maximum RP factor. For example, I don't think we can support an army of knights of Bretonnia. And I like to explain this in my head that, you know, with Jean not being a knight himself, why would Knights of the Realm listen to him, take orders from him, and the like? So I figure once we get to such a degree where we've earned the respect of the Lords of the Realm, perhaps then we can consider ourselves a knight, and then at that point, and at that point only, can we recruit Bretonnian knights for ourselves. So that's possibly my ultimate ultimate plan for the series here. Oh god, Jean. One arrow is all you can muster. Is that it, Saruman? Is this all you can conjure? Alright. Another prime example. As I said, Jean is not a great horse archer, and to that end, I don't want to really be using the bow whilst mobile. I don't see Jean being a horse archer. He is much more of a mounted sergeant type of guy, so we're going to go in with the sword before the bow, but we can use the bow from horseback, just we're going to be stationary at the time. Okay, this guy's trying to flee as well. Let's get him before he gets off the field. Going for the final blows. Oh shit, that would have been a sweet move. One blow after another. Unfortunately, it was not necessarily meant to be. Bam! Oh, this guy's gonna flee, I think. Yes, he's gone. Unless, yeah, okay, well, regardless, we are victorious. Jean is racking up quite the kill count himself. Now, earlier I had mentioned that I was going to do a montage of these battles, but this is too fun, I think, to cut. Okay, so we've actually lost one peasant killed. His name was Robert Paulson, and he will be missed. His name was Robert Paulson. Okay, so we've got another 10 zealots here to kill. I'm fine with this, to be honest. An entire episodes of killing zealots. As I said, to be honest, there are more zealots than I had anticipated. I did do a little bit of scouting before I began, but here we are. Get out of the way, peasants! Already Jean Valleur the power is getting to his head and he's commanding his brethren around. Let's remember that in the social hierarchy of Bretonnia, Jean Valleur is no better than those that have chosen to follow him. It's just purely through force of charisma and leadership that they've chosen to... Ooh, shit. We've just been stabbed by a zealot. Okay, Jean. Let's return to the men. Where are they? Okay, let's form up here. I think I want to recruit some peasant archers pretty quickly. Peasant archers would have been good against these zealots, but, you know, here we are, killing them all. Mano, not so imano, mano, numero mano, many mano, whatever the Spanish word would be. Although these guys are kind of dopey, to be honest. They're essentially just walking right into my blade. Shit, our horse again, receiving a bit of damage. Okay, guys. All right, blokes, charge in. So again, we've just received another level up. So we began the episode level 3. We're now level 5, which is amazing. Okay, let's head in with the bow here. Looks like the peasants are coming in. The bow, though, very ineffective. 11 damage. Shit. Okay, come on. Actually, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna dismount and fight a duel most honorably. Shit. Speaking of honor, we get fucking slashed in the rear while we're not looking by some most dishonorable zealots, and I think they're fucking running. Jesus Christ. Okay, we're gonna have to shoot this guy most honorably in the back. There we go. One arrow. Oh my god. My own peasants have gotten in the way of my bow. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What's another sort of Bretonnian name other than Jean? Francois. I'm sorry, Francois. I did not mean to shoot you in the back, but it just so happened you were in my way. The one time we dismount to try to fight honorably, and this is what happens. Oh, look at that. We knocked him out with the horse. Well done, horse. Okay, what is white in French? Anyone? Blanc? Can we call our horse Mont Blanc? White Mountain? Would that be good? Okay. We have routed 1 zealot and we've captured 2, and now we've got max prisoners. Wonderful. Let's get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go 6 archers. We'll grab this garbage. I'm not sure why any merchant would be interested in purchasing ragged zealot robes, but here we are. You never know. One man's garbage is another man's treasure, or so they say. And we've returned home to the village of Alençon. Now we're going to recruit an additional four men. Our friends, Francois II, Bohemond. Is that a first name? I don't think so. Okay, I think our next objective, I think, would be to hunt down... Well, I shouldn't say hunt down, that sounds rather aggressive, but I think we should talk to our feudal lord, Duke Aloy, to see if he has anything like any sort of tasks or missions. I suppose in a roleplay sense, what we would be doing is reporting our success to him, essentially rubbing it in his face. Hello, my name is Jean Valleur, and I have accomplished what you could not. I feel as if sometimes my mock French accent treads into Antonio Banderas territory, so just be aware of that. Anyway, we're going to end the episode here. I'm sorry we didn't do the montage. I've decided that it was more fun to shoot the shit and slay zealots. We're going to march to Khorne and rest for the night, possibly talk to King Leoncoeur when he arrives. Anyway, everyone, thank you for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment. And it's pretty crucial that you do, because I am going to be determining whether or not this series continues past 5, 6, 7 episodes on I'm basing it on the amount of feedback I receive. That is views, likes, and comments. So if you're really enjoying the series, do all three of those things. View it, like it, comment, and that's the best you can do. Anyway, as always, my name is Incoherence. This has been the very first episode of our campaign in the Warsword Conquest mod, and I hope to see you guys all later.